Hello and welcome to season 2, episode 1 of Life After Undergrad. I'm so excited to kick off this season with a special guest, a recent graduate from Streamer University. Welcome, Kai.
Hello.
Today, I'm thrilled to dive into some questions and get to know more about you. Here on this podcast, we share stories, reflect, and provide resources to support people on their journey. Through this podcast, I truly want to make a difference, build a community, and provide opportunities to connect authentically and genuinely through our passions, purpose, and personal journeys. Now, enough talking on my end. Let's dive in these questions, Kai.
Let's do it.
So, the first question and section is kind of just getting to know you. Did you attend college? If so, how did this experience shape you as a person and a creator?
Okay. Yes, I went to college. I went to college for filmmaking and a minor in Chinese. So, two very different things. So, I got the fun side and the academic side. Don't worry. As a person, I think that since film, let me first say, don't go to school for film. I hate being someone who's like, don't go to school, but film school is crazy. That's a crazy thing to go into debt for.
Can you share what inspired you to become a content creator and how your journey began?
Ooh, okay. So, inspiration wise, like, I just remember moving from Texas to California, having anxiety, depression, PTSD, the works, if you will. And all my friends still lived in Texas. I was in California and I was just like, man, I'm so lonely and bored. Like, what do I do? And before this, I had like watched Twitch streamers. I had gotten into gaming already. So I already had like a PC. So I think it was August. Yeah, it was like August of 2022. I just kind of set up OBS and I went live and I just kind of haven't stopped since. Um, yeah, it's weird because I have a background in filmmaking, so I've already been close to the content space. I've been aware of like the necessity of content for work, but I had never done it just for fun. But what I learned was how to be myself. I really did. I think as a person, I needed it. I think I would have learned these skills regardless, but at least it was in a controlled area like college, with forced interactions because I am a very big homebody and I love being to myself. But I'd say the biggest thing I learned in college was who I was as a person on.
Okay. That's amazing. That's honestly like really, I feel like people don't really share the part of like beginning or like what kind of they started in general. And I think that story I really resonate because being the oldest sibling of so many, like I felt like once I left college, I didn't really have any like friends or peers that were close. Like you're so used to the college town or the college environment, then you like kind of leave and you're like, well, what am I doing? And that's kind of the vibe I got as you shared that.
Yeah, like the forced proximity of friendship, basically. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you have like your work culture whenever you get a job or,
Mhm.
your life culture with the people that you spend time with. But yeah, there is not really you have to do XYZ after you graduate, which is very freeing, but also very terrifying. I think
Oh, 100%.
whenever you're like a young 20 something just thrown out into the world and you're like, ah, how do you do taxes?
Girl, don't get me started on those. And then the next question is, how would you describe your creative style? I know you mentioned that you had a background in film, which I'm assuming kind of helps you in the other aspects of content off of streaming, like using those videos, clipping.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to describe my content style because I'm still finding it. So, on one hand, you have like my artistic side, very like visually driven, very interesting. I like to think interesting at least.
Mhm.
Like visuals that help convey my stories. And I'm very much a yapper. And I think that some things you need to sit on more. Like some thoughts and ideas are better whenever they're fully cultivated and you can articulate yourself properly. So I think those ideas I really enjoy scripting out and shooting and sharing because I'm like, this is just part of me that I feel you all need to hear or I need to get it off my chest, whatever. And then you have the more, like, off the cuff side where it's just like, "Oh, yeah, I recorded this video in 30 seconds and I posted it." And that's kind of the mindset and the attitude and personality I have live as well, is just, like, very relaxed, laid back because that is who I am as a person. I don't think that everything has to be so serious all the time. Even if you, like, get into serious topics, it doesn't have to be that, like, you don't have to try hard every single time. So I'd
Mhm.
say my content style definitely, like, is openness, vulnerability, and just, like, being genuine, I think, is regardless of which form of my content you take in, it will still be me and my thoughts. So, yeah.
I like that. I really like how you articulated that because I really feel like your content, it is like you get a variety of things. It's not just like one hat that you
Mhm.
wear. And I think that's so relatable because something I've noticed through my research of just social media is people don't want to see like a perfect lifestyle. Like that's not what life is. Like that's not the real experience. So sharing those like off the cuff comments or phrases or sharing that silly video, I think just makes it more of a human experience when you make that content.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like in a world where everything is so
Mhm,
targeted
mhm.
to make you think, feel, and react a certain way, sometimes it's just nice to hear someone say something and, like, people will still have emotional triggers off of genuine things that you'll say, but at least they know that it's not catered towards a low-key ad or trying to convince people of some way of thinking instead of just sharing how you feel.
Exactly, like, just being for real, like, that's
Yeah.
that's really it, like
Community. And I do think that's why so many people love content and love live streaming especially is because it is whether or not you're crazily involved in it, it is community. Like that's what community is. It's a group of people getting together, sharing stories, information, laughing together, crying together, sharing whatever you can when you can. I feel like even lurking, I always am like, "Oh, look at my little community." And, like,
Mhm.
especially whenever, like, your creators are thriving, it always feels like that sense of warmth that you get because your creator is thriving, like, that's community. That is you seeing someone in your community doing well, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I love that someone like me is doing well."
100%, 100%, and I think that's, like it's also inspiring, think if we again, utilize each other and communicate and just not take it as thing of that is, like, I guess, a competition. We're not in
Mm.
competition with each other, we should be working together versus going up to the next thing at the expense of another person.
Yeah, and
So
that's actually, it's so funny because I was talking about this the other day. Someone asked me, like, "Do you ever feel jealous or do you ever feel like something that someone else has, you should have?" And I was telling them, I was like, "Of course I get jealous. I'm a human. I have goals and aspirations, and those are often modeled after people. And whenever you model something after someone and you want it enough, you get jealous. Like that's just how the brain works." But
mhm,
something that I really love and adore is utilizing benign envy instead of like a malicious envy, which
mhm,
essentially means if anyone doesn't know. Benign envy is an envy that you don't allow to affect your relationships. Rather, you look at someone, say, I want that for myself. And then you look at what they're doing and pick up the traits that you can to push yourself further along. And it's very helpful. It's honestly one of the best things I've ever done is just seeing how different people work and act and improve and stealing it for myself and improving
yeah,
myself. So college was my time to, for the first time, fully have relationships where no one interfered, whether that was romantic or platonic, and like navigating that. I think hmm, as a creator, I think that's where I found like my creative eye because I'm a really big internal person. I love I'm a big starer. I get I feel like such a weirdo whenever I'm out in public. I stare so much. I have a staring problem actually, and it's never malicious, it's never rude. It's just that I'm genuinely interested in people, and I think
mhm.
that's very much where I take my content is just watching, and I think that's why IRL is so comfortable for me now. like, already. I've only been doing it for, like, 2 months now, but it's just really fun because one, whenever people look at me, I'm like, "Oh, they're just nosy." Like, I know how they feel. You're nosy. I get it. Like, I would love to talk to you about it, and I talk to whoever comes up to me and asks me about it. And then also it's like, I know what people might want to see, I think, as, like because I do my own camera op stuff. So it's like, "Oh, I'll have it on my face," but also like, "Oh my gosh, guys, look at this and that," like, narrating the world as well as, like, showing it to them. So I think that as a creator, college helped me find my eye and most importantly, helped me realize who I was as a person. Because I think that like your art will always change, your creativity will always change based off of where you are in your life. But I
Mhm.
think that to have a good basis of your content, you need to know who you are. So I think that was like the best thing that I learned.
You, like, really ate with that, and I feel like you're reading a book off of my life, just saying, because I actually feel the same way. I myself learned a lot of the skills of socially being in
Mhm.
college and having that structure and those relationships. But I feel and again, being a homebody, like, I'm still that too, but getting involved with something, like, on the campus that I, in a sense, was, like, not forcing myself, but it was, like, a politely encouraged thing I had to show up to.
Yeah.
And then that's where I kind of, like, met people, and through meeting, like, different people from different experiences, I kind of also got to, like, look and be like, "Okay, what kind of person do I actually wanna be?" It really does like, you go through, like, so many different, like I don't wanna say phases, but I feel like I was so many different Shanoas at
Yeah.
school.
And you know what's crazy is I went through a lot of different iterations of myself in college, and I don't think any of those were really me, but they did help me get to where I am now.
Oh,
I really adore
100%.
and appreciate my past self for going through that so I don't have to anymore.
Exactly, and that's what I feel too, like, I actually established, like, this brand and this podcast was really, like it's been sitting in my Google Drive since 2021, but it was, like,
Ooh.
I just never felt not ready, but, like, I never felt like my voice was important or my voice like, people cared in a sense. Like,
Yeah,
I wasn't even confident within myself, how was I gonna convince somebody else that I knew what I was talking about? So I
yeah,
think that was something for co like, college too, where I was put in those difficult situations or those leadership roles where we really had to like buckle down and be like, okay, like this is who I want to be. But the next question for you is was there a specific educator that impacted you during your educational journey? What did they leave with you?
I think 2 of my English teachers and my English teacher in college, part of the reason why I adore him so much wasn't even like I mean, it's so many things, but one of the big things was just, like, the feeling of having someone believe in you or seeing something in you that you might not have seen in yourself.
Oh,
Um, because I took his class, required English, like, just freshman year English, took his class, did the traditional read this book, write an essay. Did it, got through my class, whatever. 2 years later, 2 whole years later, I get an email from him and he's like, "I would love for you to take my creative writing class. Like, I just got bumped up to creative writing. This is my passion. I remember your art and I want to see what you would do in a less restrictive area of writing." And just having someone being remembered and having someone reach out to you like that, I was like, I do have impact on people. Like, the things that I say can stick with someone, and that was just one of the most beautiful feelings ever, and just also, I remember one of my criticisms in his class was someone said, like, "You always write the same thing. I'm getting tired of it. You always write the same thing." And I talked to him about it, and I was like, "Is this bad? Like, am I uncreative?" And he was like, "No, you just know what your story is. Like, all that it is, like, all that means is that they are still searching for their core story, and that's why they can write whatever they want. Like, you know what you want to say. You know what you want to share with the world, and that doesn't mean that you're uncreative or that it's repetitive. It just means that you have very strong beliefs, and that is what you're drawn towards." And I think that was also something that was really eye-opening was like, "Oh, I'm allowed to repeat myself." It always felt, like growing up, sometimes it felt like, "I shouldn't take up too much space. Let me not repeat myself." Like, did I tell that story
mhm.
already? Him saying that, it very much felt like, no, you have the right to take up space and repeat things however you feel like is necessary. So, shout out Brian, uh,
Yes.
my favorite
Mr.
professor.
Mr. Brian, Professor Brian.
Yeah, he was the best.
So it's
Yeah.
like those little things and those people who, again, they show you they care, they show you you can be better, and they see
Mhm.
something you might not necessarily in that moment. Because again, growing up and it being in spaces like that, being a kid is hard. Being around peers who don't necessarily have direction just like you, or maybe you have more direction and more like definition of who you are and what you want to be and others don't, that pours into each other. You're in an environment with these people and then you kind of wonder like, am I like them, am I not, what is,
Yeah.
who am I, like,
Yeah. Emma is
so I
honestly
think,
huge. That's the big
yeah,
one.
and that's something where like it's pretty admirable, I feel like, when people do start content and have a clear vision in high school. So all power to you young creators as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, those young that's also why I especially creators that do, not bad things, like, not, like, terrible things, but, like, creators
Yeah,
that get into drama whenever they're young, I always am like, "Let's have some grace towards them, though," because we all did bad stuff. We all hurt someone or did something that we're not proud of whenever we're younger. It just wasn't publicized. Like
100% wasn't broadcasted,
like,
exactly.
thank goodness, okay?
Oh,
Like,
please, but guess where it's broadcasted all the time? In our brains.
yeah, the regret
Mhm.
nightmares, the
Exactly.
like
You're like you, like, look at a tissue box and you're like, "Oh, why did I remember that?"
yeah, flashbacks,
You're
flashbacks.
like, "No," but yeah, and again, everybody has those moments, but I feel like when once you figure it out and again, you're intentional, everything flows and it makes sense.
Mhm.
You have to grow. There needs to be improvement, and that's something I learned in college is, like, being patient, but seeing the progress. Like, it'll happen, but it's not
Yeah,
gonna happen while you're staring right at it the whole time.
exactly. Yeah.
So now we can kind of get into what made you really apply to Streamer University.
I mean, I'm a big shoot your shot girl. I'm a
Yes,
big, I'm gonna email this brand. If they say no, oh my gosh, they saw my name. If they don't respond, whatever. Like, I'm someone where, like, I quite literally had nothing to lose and everything to gain. Even just posting the video for Streamer University, I got followers, because people are like looking through the hashtag and like, seeing these creators and they're like, "Oh, I've never seen this person before." And I mean, there are plenty of people I was like, "I've never heard of you. Love this though." Like, love
100%.
this. So,
100%.
I think even in that way, a lot of people who even weren't picked still a got a little boost, you know? So, I mean, for me, I was like, nothing to lose. I have footage. I still remember seeing the tweet. He was like, apply as fast as possible. He didn't have a cutoff date, and that made me really anxious. I'm very much a planner. So I was like, oh, I got to apply today. So I literally loaded up my SD card and my hard drive, took archive footage from like all of these shoots that I'd done in the last 10 weeks, threw them together, and did a voiceover. Like, that was literally my application.
Yes.
And I was like, "Cool, that's what I have to say for myself. That's my story. We'll see." And then I quite literally had no hope for it whatsoever.
Girl, but look what happened.
Because, like, for me, like, I'm also someone where I'm like, if it's out of my control, I'm not gonna stress out about it. I'm obviously hopeful, but I'm not gonna like use my brain power towards hoping or something when I could like put it towards continuing my grind. That's like the other thing
100%.
is a lot of the people that are part of it, like they're so serious about their content and like seeing people being serious even beforehand, I was like, oh my God, I gotta lock in. So I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna focus on my stuff.
She's like, I got this. I got
Yeah.
this. Like we still moving.
Yeah, so it was literally just applying to apply. I mean, you see creators that are making great big moves, especially like creators of color always,
Yes.
it's like that's so sick that Kai is a as a black man that is like making strides the way he is. And I was like, yeah, I would love to be part of people, like love to be part of that. So I was like, yeah, I'll play.
100%. And that's something that I was talking about too through the whole journey. I was like, this is like something that hasn't happened to
Mhm.
like this caliber. Like there are a group of people of color, of black groups, of Hispanic groups who come together, but it's not to the scale of which this was viewed. And that's completely insane. Like there's someone that I watch, I try to watch everybody, but I think Emil, he has his mom on there. And I just think like
Mhm.
that's such like a wholesome, real experience of like a Hispanic experience being shown that you might have
Yeah.
not necessarily seen in other aspects because again, we have very established creators, I feel like right now. Like they've been in the game for a minute. So
Yeah.
this new wave kind of gave it more like, different things, people figuring it out, more like raw footage versus like everything very like neat and clean. So
Mhm.
I think it's super,
Yeah.
super dope.
I think it's amazing too. I love seeing it so much.
Amazing. And Tota is like low key my fave. He liked one of my stories. I was like, Tota. I was like, dude,
Let's
I
go.
think I like emailed him, but or maybe I didn't because I was scared of like, I was like, he's not gonna know what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
then I was like, does the DM translate? And then I was like, I just want to be inclusive, man. I don't want to look silly.
Yeah.
So, that was one thing where it's like, it's just cool to see everybody, like, doing their thing and connecting. There definitely is a sense of community, and, it's definitely
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome to and people, again, are definitely trying to do something similar. That is not gonna be the last time anything like that is done now. Kai just, like, set history. We're gonna
Yeah,
be, like,
definitely.
modeling what he did.
Yeah, that's, like, officially a new, like, content form.
100%, it's insane. But I was just when I saw that they were trying to do Baddies University and then Kai reacted to that,
Yeah.
"Oop, he ain't playing. He ain't playing." And then when I wrote the book, I was like, "Oh, I really hope he don't think I'm like some money hungry girl. I just had an idea." Like I really did. Like I promise, Kai, you good.
He said, please,
After I saw that clip, I was like, "Oh no."
No, I think it's pretty easy. It gets easier for sure, I think, to tell when people are doing things, like, maliciously or, like, for money or clout without
Yeah,
crediting you especially, versus people who are like, "Oh, this was a great idea. Love this. Would love to, like, build off of it." Because I think this falls in line with his goal for streaming university, which is, like, I mean, a big thing was just more collaboration.
oh, well, Mr. Dean Kai, we did it. Did it. We met the goal.
Yeah. I mean, and you can see it across Twitch right now too, is like the amount of collaboration, or maybe I'm just like getting introduced to it since I was like more of an FPS streamer before, but I'm seeing like so many people linking up in person, like new lobbies getting created. But you know what? This is how so many things have occurred. Like it's what do they call it? Like the snowball effect where it's just like slowly, slowly, and then all of a sudden it's like spiraling. It's like the Among Us era is people talk
Yes.
about they're like, yeah, I remember like the first few lobbies. We played it like a month or two before it got popular. And people are like, what? And it's like, yeah, that's how it happens. You play with people, people see you
Mhm.
guys play, and then more people play the game and or like more people do a certain kind of segment and then it just keeps going until ultimately there's a group that just clicks and makes such good content that they all kind of boost each other up at the same time. It's like incredible to see and I love it. And I really hope that like I can be part of it and I hope that my friends can also be part of it.
That is amazing, and it kind of, like, is a perfect timing on his end to even, like,
Mhm.
enact this because I was just talking at work about, like, there's a lot of social impacts of COVID still happening and presenting today. The pandemic socially, like,
Oh,
wiped
yeah.
out any sense of, like I remember before the pandemic where people used to get offended if you didn't hug them, like, you knew who you
Mhm.
had to hug, who you had to kiss on the cheek, who you had to say hello to, and then if you didn't show up to work, it was like you were a bad worker, like, the
Yeah.
culture was so different, and then I feel like now navigating, like, what is a healthy relationship? How can a female and a male be friends without it having the expectation or the standards of, "Oh, they have to be together doing something?"
Yeah.
Like, even that and, like, affection, like, how do you show a friend affection now? So, I think that's something to really step into too, is, like, he's giving an opportunity for people to just really build friendships, build relationships post COVID when that wasn't really like seen, to be honest. You were kind of with your family members, but not really like friends. And you still like ain't nobody sharing a drink now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like the loneliness epidemic, like, stayed around for a very long time, and I mean, it's obviously hard socially for a
Mhm,
lot of people, so yeah, I definitely feel like SU did, like, a lot. And, like, there are, like, layers to it for sure.
mhm, 100%. Well, that is all the questions I have for you. So I thank you so much, Kai, for kicking off season 2 with me. Your story and energy were everything. And to everyone tuning in, thanks for being part of this journey. Life after undergrad is all about growth, connection, and showing up as our full selves. Today's convo was a reminder of how powerful that could be. Kai, before we go, where can folks find and follow you?
You can find me on Twitch at CAIUWUS, that's CAIUWUS, and I also post content on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram under the same name.
Be sure to follow, share, and stay connected with us on social media. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep going, and keep being you.